Hey, sorry if I feel a little sluggish. I haven't been feeling very well after I burned G1. I've been getting these awful pains. I'll muscle through it because, this is a fight worth fighting for. What the heck was that? Seriously, what was that? Do people just wake up and take a bite out of food? I mean, I guess that might be her thing. She's the one that eats, but just wakes up and the first thing you do is take a bite out of a muffin? Right off the bat, you can tell something is weird. Notice the different feel of it all? They're riding on the school bus, they're brushing their teeth. A really different feel from the first show that seemed to feel like it was in some magical world. And surprisingly, it looks much worse. Okay, so that's the intro, but what about the actual show? Clearly we have gone in an entirely new direction. A direction that I'm not too sure I'm liking.
Hey, wait till you hear this! I've been selected! Selected for what? To be a foreign exchange student.
Well, for one, it seems like they improved on the voice acting by a lot. Listening to them talk isn't as grueling as it was before. Okay, so they got some technical improvements, but what about some of the plots?
My cassette player, it's been swiped.
Oh, that's interesting, I guess. But here's a surprise. There are actually guy ponies now. That's an interesting approach, really. I mean, you wouldn't think the old My Little Ponies would have, guy characters. How do they handle this?
We get done with you, you'll have girls hanging all over you. Want the girls at your feet? Don't be friendly or sweet.
Lesson number 1. Listen to me, son. Here's the way it's done.
No. We've heard enough. That's fine. It's clear to see the direction now that the show is taking. It's supposed to be a representation of the preteen real life. And I'm guessing big time here. The plots revolve around real people problems. Foreign exchange programs, girls and boys dealing with the opposite gender, and tea parties. Okay, so it's a representation of real girly problems. And to be fair, it's not the worst thing. But good God, does it have to be so lame? You remember everything bad about the 90s? Shove it all into one show. The music?
Boys, what do we want with boys? One's a bully, one's a brute, but some I think are awfully cute.
Didn't make me forget much worse than the original, did ya? So what is there really left to say? The series lasted way less than the original series, but fortunately there were 7 main characters as opposed to 3 humans and an army of ponies. And they are, well, I don't know. I don't care. They're all generic girl characters. They go to school, they talk about boys, etc., etc. Interestingly though, this show does have good morals. It's one of those educational shows. Understanding other cultures, being yourself instead of trying to be who you're not. So from what you're hearing me say, you're probably thinking that I think that G2 is better than the older G1. It's not. It's actually more dull than the first one. The first one at least had villains and that 80s feel. This is just... It's essentially a day-to-day look at the MLP characters with their everyday problems. This is what a commercial probably sounded like.
Join Starlight, Sweetheart, Melody, and the rest of the crew as they learn how to give a care about the troubles of life. Witness fascinating stories involving getting a boy's attention to figuring out who does steal Melody's new cassette player. Wow, this show is old. Does anyone still use cassette players? Even hipsters don't want them. Anyway, join them in everyday adventures such as learning to keep secrets and discovering glow and show ponies. Seriously? What were they smoking? Yeah, this is way too weird for me. I'm not surprised this show only lasted 26 episodes. I quit!
So that's essentially the general gist of My Little Pony Tales. It's not terrible by any means, it's just bland. It's girly, it's uninteresting. With G1, at least it had a direction. G2 feels like a generic story and setting with ponies added into the mix. G1 knew what it wanted to be, a fantasy adventure. I believe the talking ponies because it gives the impression that it is supposed to be somewhere else. With G2, are we in Minot? Seeing the world through the eyes of someone on drugs? It could be all these different reasons. So overall, I give it a critical score of 5. And that's on on a critical scale. On a personal scale, well, I give it a 4 out of 10. It has everything I disliked about the first MOP and more, except that the first MOP, I can at least give it my respect. With this, I couldn't do so. The music was bad, the characters are boring, the settings are boring, even the animation, though not as floaty and graceful as the first MOP, can still cause me to lose interest. It just isn't for me. You know what that means? Oh, there's that awful pain again. You know, they haven't been terrible. They've just been, lame. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why I'm feeling these pains. But I'm so close. Just one more. Feeling like, what's the last one on the list? I remember you. How could I have forgotten? I know what makes you so special. You are the one from my childhood. I just need a bit more time. No more failure. No more giving in. But I remember now why My Little Pony was so lame. Now you're going to take me back to my childhood. Ready?